is take note of the fact that since the very earliest days of what has turned into quickly a genocidal expeditionary force, um, that since the very earliest time, the Secretary of State has been caught up in a very compromised circumstance as to how humanitarian aid is allowed and whether it's allowed and how much and all that. The joke within the Netanyahu administration was that Gaza is having an appointment with a dietitian. This is very, visceral, very dark, evil. This is famine, and of course, remember that there were all of these solemn, cruel declarations by Yoav Gallant on down to Smotrich and some of the others about we're not going to let. Netanyahu actually told Blinken, our attitude right now is we won't let an aspirin into Gaza. It's mentioned in the Jeremy Scahill thing, but I mean, all Blinken has done is enabled the darkest, cruel fantasies, genocidal fantasies of the Israeli military and government.
And Samantha Powers tried to undermine that by saying that the USAID report and all that was months old, and well, I think the Rafah entrance has been sealed off now for how long? So
May
no
1st,
one can get in.
right about the first week of May.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's still closed.
And then one last thing, remember the other absurd thing, which was Biden's big deal about the pier, the floating pier, the $320 million, 3 weeks of active food delivery that kept it kept being broken up by the effect of the Mediterranean Sea and the constant northwesterly winds. It turned out to be a joke. And of course, it has also since been revealed in the last month or so that the Corps of Engineers told Biden the conditions of the Eastern Mediterranean are not such that you're going to have a lot of problems with it, basically. And indeed, that's what happened until finally they junked the whole idea after Biden personally was selling this as the magical solution where, the IDF will be above reproach and we'll be able to get tons of aid from Cyprus onto the shore of the Gaza Strip and dispatch it more efficiently because of the location of the pier. So I mean,
we can still provide unconditional aid to Israel,
right?
Because we have this pier.
Yeah,
which is just buy time.
So what you have are, we're talking about incompetence in the midst of an unfolding, unnecessary humanitarian disaster. And it's because it is fulfilling the intentional motives of the government of Israel and its military. But then you get the State Department bureaucrats, at least at the top echelons, playing. I won't say they're pretending, but they're certainly not treating an incredible humanitarian crisis as an incredible unfolding crisis. I just saw statistics today that they estimate that the average Gazan has lost 23 pounds or 24 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And, the children are of course, are being irretrievably destroyed as to their life prospects because of malnutrition.
Mike, jump in.
I wanted to add to what Terry was saying, a couple of comments that we included in our news release and in the letter that Terry wrote to the Department of Justice asking for this grand jury to indict Blinken. And these are not raving radicals by any means, but two senior State Department officials showed that Blinken lied when he issued his report to Congress. That report said, "We do not currently assess that the Israeli government is prohibiting or otherwise restricting the transport or delivery of U.S. humanitarian aid." And one of the people that commented was Samantha Power, director of USAID, who is hardly a a left-winger. And she said that the looming famine in Gaza was the result of Israel's, quote, arbitrary denial, restriction, and impediments of U.S. humanitarian aid, and called it, quote, one of the worst humanitarian catastrophes in the world. And Stacy Gilbert, a USAID bureau head who resigned because of Blinken's lies in his report, said that the report to Congress, she said there is abundant evidence showing Israel is responsible for blocking aid. To deny this is absurd and shameful. That report and its flagrant untruths will haunt us. And Josh Paul, State Department official who resigned last fall, about a week or 10 days into the Israeli genocide, he told me in an email, we were corresponding about this letter to the Department of Justice, and he said in an email that Blinken lied about starving people so he could keep killing them.
Mhm.
That's, that's what it comes down to.